let's go to our one-on-one segment. Eric's chance to get to know our guests a little bit better. Right now, he spends a few minutes with the Buzz's Rod Ryan from the Rod Ryan Morning Show. Let's start out with this video clip that shows some of Rod's best dance moves.
Oh my God.
The things you do to stay awake at 6 a.m.
Dude, 30 million views later.
Is that what it got?
No,
Oh,
not even close.
Geez.
Not even close, thank God.
So, obviously for people that don't know, you do 94.5 The Buzz.
Yep.
At, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., obviously the big time for morning radio. What's that like? What's it like getting up? Obviously you've been doing this now for over a decade, right?
Yeah, about 10 years doing mornings, and it's brutal. You never get used to getting up. I get up at 3:20 every day.
You get up at 3:20 every day?
3:20 every day. About twice a week I allow myself to hit snooze.
So you need to get home.
Eventually, yeah. When are we wrapping up here? This game's taking forever, man.
Run the ball. Run it.
Yeah, no, 3:20 every day. And, people say, like you said, 10 years, you don't get used to it. You do not, your body, you're not supposed to get up that early.
No.
You're just not. So, yeah, you deal with it. People ask, how are you so awake? How do you stay, alert? And, no coffee, no diet sodas.
5 hour energy.
No Red Bulls, no 5 hour energies, nothing. Nothing. I've totally weaned myself off of all of that. So it's just naturally just getting ready to go to work and just being ready for the day.
So what do you, what do you do at 3:20? You get up at 3:20, 3:30, eventually roll out of bed here. What does your morning consist of before you go on the air? What all has happened in your life before that happened?
All right, the girls on the show, Teresa, Jessica, they roll out of bed, ponytail, sweatpants like they're going to class,
Sure.
And they run to the station. All right, I've got to get up. I've got to turn on the news. I've got to make breakfast. I've got to drink my orange juice and take my vitamins, and I have to do all that stuff. I have to eat in the morning. I mean, I really do. I have to eat something first thing in the morning. These girls don't do any of that stuff. They just run in there and then boom. Not everybody's a coffee drinker, but I do have a bit of a routine in the morning that I have to kind of go through. So if I don't get up, if I don't shower and do all the same things, I have to do it in that way. Do I have to be there? I get to the station about 4:30. We go on about 10 to 6. So for me, it's really about getting in a routine and just being disciplined in doing it.
I can appreciate that. So when you get to the station at 4:30, now what kind of prep are you doing for the show?
I'm reading everything I can get my hands on. I'm going through emails.
So you're looking for material. You're looking for stuff that you can use now for these 4 hours.
There's plenty of things that happen the day before that you can use for the next day's show, but there's too many things that happen on the overnight. If I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock, there's too many things that are happening in the world that chances are we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. So you got to keep up on all that stuff. I mean, I can't watch Dancing with the Stars and I can't watch American Idol, the results, but you got to kind of know what's going on in case it comes up. It's never a plan that we're going to be discussing that stuff in the morning, but we know that those are the #1 shows on TV. People are watching them, so we have to mention them. So you got to kind of keep up on all that stuff.
Now, so you do the show. It's the most popular drive time morning show in all Houston.
Yes, it is.
And that's amazing in itself. But let's fast forward to 10 a.m. Now what are we doing? Now where are we going?
10 o'clock, hit my incredibly messy desk, and then I start getting just pummeled by salespeople, the promotions department. I work with Jessica on the show, and we start planning out what guests are going to be on. What products we need to get in. We do a lot of charity work on the show. So it seems to keep me there till about 2 o'clock every day. So it's a long day. I mean, 4:30 to 2, If I can get out of there at 1:30, that's a good day to get out of there.
Wow. So after the show, you're doing the behind the scenes work as well. It's not just hey, go on from 6 to 10 and take off.
The biggest misconception is we unplug our headphones at 10 o'clock and I either take a nap or I go golf. That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. So
No.
so we go. Now, you take a nap at some point during the day, or are you always just working on about 5.5 hours?
That's it. No naps. It's such a terrible thing. When the alarm goes off at 3:20, it's awful. It's a terrible thing, right? To wake up twice in one day is a doubly awful thing. I mean, why would somebody want to go through that twice in one day? I cannot wake up from a nap. My problem is I've tried everything.
Interesting way to put it.
I've read every book. You sleep in 30-minute patterns. So you either sleep for 30 minutes or an hour and a half. If you sleep for an hour, you're hitting your deep sleep and you're disrupting this, that, and the other thing. Nothing works for me. Some people swear on power naps and 20-minute power naps. None of it works for me. I've got to wake up, and if I don't, it's just I'm groggy the rest of the day from that waking up the second time. So it's not worth it to me.
Okay, so we've kind of mapped out your day, but let's take it back a little bit. Now, when you were coming up, what did you want to do? Is this something that was always intrigued you? The radio, the DJing. What were your kind of aspirations? How did this all happen?
A failed rock star. I mean, it's easy.
Do you see that a lot with other people in your profession? I mean, is that like...
In some cases, yeah. I mean, for me, I played in bands all in high school. I was a musician. I played the drums, and I was in goofy bands, and we thought we were much better than we really were. And I had the mullet and the bad hair and everything. And at some point in the band, we traveled around a little bit. We played a lot in Canada because I'm from Buffalo. And we did interviews, went to radio stations, and I thought that was kind of cool. So at the time that I realized that our band kind of sucked and everybody else thought we were better, we all wanted to move. Well, 3 of the 4, me being the one that didn't, we're talking about moving to Los Angeles and going out and hanging out with Motley Crue and Rat and Poison and everybody. And I said,
You along with every other budding rock stars, right?
Correct. And I'm like, you know what? No, we're going to skip that. I'm going to quit. I went to school and I said, well, if I can't be interviewed, I'm going to be the guy that interviews bands. That really was how the radio thing happened. We visited a few radio stations. I thought it seemed cool. I'm like, the guys seemed like, okay, you can still kind of dress like a bum and go to work. I'm like, that's for me.
That's what you wanted to do.
So that was basically how it came about.
So you started in Buffalo and then you moved to New Orleans.
Yeah.
What was that transition like? How did
that was my first taste of the South, man. Let me tell you, that's like moving to Mars.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been to Buffalo, and New Orleans
totally
might
different.
As well be Mars.
But New Orleans is different than everywhere, though. I mean, I had friends that had, lease agreements to their apartment written on a bar napkin. I mean, it's loose. I mean, it's just everything.
That's what everyone says down there. That's the best way to put it. It's loose.
It's loose. Everything's done over a drink. Everybody's partying. Let the good times roll. It was fun. I mean, it was great. I went down there. I was 8 years, and it was wild.
Now, was it just a better situation? What made you want to come to Houston?
Well, for me, what I do, I mean, working at a radio station, I don't know how much this plays into what you guys do but there are bigger markets than others. There's more opportunities. Even look at the opportunities that you would have here as opposed to being in Buffalo.
Sure.
There's just more opportunities, even for doing this show. Maybe there's better sponsors. There's better products that you could maybe endorse. So for me, being on the radio, you want to talk to as many people as possible. Well, we got 4 million people here. There's 500,000 people in New Orleans. So it was a big jump. This is the 4th biggest city in America. It's the 6th biggest radio market. So for me, it's all about talking to as many people as possible. So it was a big jump to come here. And, it was scary. It was exciting. It was terrifying. It was everything all at the same time. But 8 years later, we're doing real well.
Now, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years? Where's Rod Ryan in 10 years? Where do you want to be? Where's this crazy train going to take you?
I really don't know. What I tell everybody is Eddie Vedder and the guys in Green Day and Soundgarden, they're getting older like me too, right? So It's not, you know what I mean? We're all kind of traveling like a pack of old wolves right now. So I don't know. Does Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, what kind of we focus on at the Buzz, does that become classic rock and then the Led Zeppelin station becomes the oldie station?
Do you like the new stuff? Do you like some of the stuff that are coming out? Do you
love all the
listen
new
to
stuff. I mean, that's the great thing about the Buzz. We do it's a great mix of the stuff that's coming out right now. We got BuzzFest coming out. You got brand new bands. You got bands that have been around for a while. So we're able to do that. So I kind of still feel like I'm in the mix of what's happening. you know, radio stations, they say they're set up with all these different demographics, and you hear 18 to 34 and 25-54. Those are all set up for advertisers, you know. I mean, people like what they like, and I think right now what we're doing is I'm still in that wheelhouse of, you know, the bands that we play and still staying relevant with the new stuff.
So you were talking earlier about charities. Talk about some of the things you're doing. You brought a shirt with you.
Yeah, I did bring a shirt.
So what's this all about?
This is our third year. This is our Boobs Rock shirt right here. This is our Boobs Rock shirt. It's the third year we're doing this. All the money goes to MD Anderson, and you know everything. I think everybody knows we have some of the finest facilities, if not the finest facility here in America.
100%.
I mean, the medical. Anything dealing with medical here in Houston is just unbelievable. But when it comes to cancer research and people working on a cure, I feel like we have some of the most advanced doctors here in the world. So we give all the money to MD Anderson. We are nearing in 3 years over $100,000. We've teamed up with our partners, Bull Shirts, and they do all the printing. We take no money. They take no money. And we sell the shirts online. We've got a website set up, therodryanshowcares.com. And with this initiative, like I said, we're about $100,000 here. But, I mean, probably the biggest thing for me is since the Rod Ryan Show has been on, we are about $1.1 million to charities.
That's amazing.
Here in the area and the Gulf region, because a lot of that came when Hurricane Katrina hit. We donated a lot, or we had our listeners, they donated a lot of money. So, you know, I feel like we want to be involved in the society here. We want to be involved in the community. And I'm amazed at the people that live here in Houston, how giving and how willing they are to participate and give to charity.
That's fantastic. Real quick before I leave, favorite band of all time?
I guess I got to go with my first band, my first favorite band. I was a little kid. I was terrified of them. I loved them. It was Kiss. You know, I mean, I saw them on Halloween one night, and I'm like, oh, my God, I was so afraid of them. But I was so intrigued, and I guess they've always kind of been my favorite band.
Now, when you're on the other side, last question, what was your best interview? What was your best call? What was your best guest that you've ever had, wherever you've ever been? I mean, what was something that sticks out in your mind that says, I'll never forget that?
I mean, the first time that I met Kiss, and it's one thing, you know, Gene's kind of a goofball now. You watch his TV show, right? But to interview Kiss.
All right, everybody, this is Rod Ryan.
I mean, it sounds like a silly thing. It's the same guy, but
sure.
This is a guy that I grew up in 4th grade being deathly afraid of, and getting to talk to him with the makeup on and the shoes and towering over me. I guess that's probably one that'll always stick with me. But, you know, we get to meet and get to talk to so many people. It really is a great gig, and you don't really take any of them for granted.
That's awesome. Rod Ryan, thanks for going on.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are broadcasting live here. Believe it or not, this is Houston, Texas. Doug, take a look around and see what's going on out here. It is the blizzard of '09 in Houston, Texas. Now, you may be asking yourself, why am I wearing shorts? It's because I'm an idiot, and I had no idea. They told me it was going to snow here. I had no idea that it really was going to snow. So we just wanted to give you a look at what's happening here. This is, in fact, is there any way of proving that we're in Houston, Texas? See all those people right there? They've never seen snow before. We're in Houston, Texas. So here we go. This is Blizzard '09, the Rod Ryan Show, reporting live from the Galleria, 94.5.